This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
So, Dave, big test yesterday.
Big test?
Big test. I had to test out my arm.
Oh.
And
by the way,
yeah,
I've noticed you are becoming ambulatory.
Almost.
More. I mean, you're pretty. If you didn't, like Radar O'Reilly, you remember O'Reilly, who didn't he have like 2 fingers on a hand or whatever?
Yeah.
And you just didn't notice it because he would hide it.
Yeah.
Now I don't even notice your disability.
Thank you. Well, yesterday I went to the driving range with my son Sean.
Doctor's orders, right?
And I just wanted to try it because I feel like my shoulder moves okay, that I might be able to hit the ball. Guess what happened?
You probably played golf the best you ever have.
My slice is gone. I had no slice at all.
Dude, this was totally worth it, right?
I mean, I slice every shot. And yesterday I hit 30 balls all right down the middle.
Oh, my God. So for you golfers out there, go to...
It's a humerus bone, and you want to snap it into like 3 different directions.
Right, this exact... you'll send the video to... or the X-ray.
That's a free one, everyone, as we get ready here from Minutia Men.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie production on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
How long have you been playing golf? 40 years? 45 years?
I think I started when I was 15.
All right, so 45 years.
Yeah.
And you still have a slice? Isn't this something
my slice was so reliable, Dave, that
you would just
aim the other direction, and it would go right into the middle of the fairway. I've been doing it for years.
But you would think after 45 years you would figure it out.
You know, my grandfather lived here for 50 years and never picked up English. Okay. So,
and my mom, every time that she put a postage stamp on her letters, would pound it like with a hammer, like, boom. Ma, all you got to do is lick and whatever. No, it doesn't work that way. Hey, we've got a huge show for today.
Oh, really?
I mean, this is an extravaganza.
Okay. Wait, here come the Rick and Dave dancers.
Okay, right. Who are beginning to look a little long in the tooth.
They are.
We've had them since the 80s, right?
Hey, you might want to get rid of the gold lame.
You know how we always routinely make fun of and are a bit judgy of people that are our age, how they look, right? Now, granted, we typically find stories of people that may not be living their best lives,
We're
right?
not showing Brad Pitt photos.
Right, but you know how, we're doing right, basically, compared to the people in Florida that are meth heads. Right. You know who's one person that still, at age 58, still looks great?
Who's that?
Elizabeth Hurley.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
She's a handsome woman at 58.
She is.
So here's a story that you might like. Elizabeth Hurley felt safe filming sex scenes directed by her son.
Oh, sweet.
Elizabeth Hurley relied on her son to capture her best angles while filming racy sex scenes in her latest movie, Strictly Confidential, which is coming out in April, I believe. Hurley, 58, admitted she felt safe and looked after with her 21-year-old son, Damien, a little weird, guiding her through scenes she wasn't necessarily used to as an actress. Damien made his directorial debut with the erotic thriller, which focuses on a haunted young woman. I don't know if the woman is haunted or she's haunted by something, who becomes fixated on the death of her best friend.
Okay.
Elizabeth Hurley is playing the young woman.
Wow.
58.
Okay,
when I was 21, we wrote it, Damien told Access Hollywood. We went out to the Caribbean and we made it in 18 days, which is typical for a low-budget independent film. Now, what happened is he did a short, I don't know, 18 months ago, and an small independent studio saw it and said, "Hey, we want to direct or we want you to do our next movie as long as your mom's in it." Right. So he asked his mom, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do your next movie." Well, yes, dear.
Yes.
You know how you say,
yes,
I want to be a cowboy. Yes, dear. So
this one's about a son who has sex with his mother.
Well,
okay.
So he has this deal, right? He has this deal on the table. He's like, okay, now I got to write a movie with my mom in it, and he chooses to write an erotic thriller.
Exactly.
By the way, there is
That is so sick.
there is a trailer.
Now, if my mom was Elizabeth Hurley, I might be...
Hold that thought, okay? Hold that thought. Now, there is a trailer out about the movie, Strictly Confidential, and the movie is her kissing another woman.
Oh, that's even better. Oh, my God.
Per Shiraravara, I think is her name. A handsome woman as well. So Damien's got an agenda here. Okay. By the way, the executive producer, Sigmund Freud.
Yeah.
So sadly, So sadly, my mom has passed away, as you know. But your mom is still around.
Oh, stop.
So
no.
So perhaps you should spend. No, hold on.
No.
So you immediately went to the erotic thriller. We don't have to. It doesn't have to be an erotic thriller.
No.
It could just be a regular thriller.
No.
Like the hidden strudel.
Oh my God.
Right? Or Who Moved My Hummel? Like, spend a little less time.
Oh my God.
Spend a little less time writing eulogies, Rick, and a little more screenwriting. Get Hildegard.
No.
So you already went. So you went to the erotic. I wasn't even thinking erotic.
Oh my God. Oh God! I need can I shower my brain? Is that even possible? All right. Well, boy, that really ruined my day. Let me go to my story.
How do I look like? Okay. I told you I might make you vomit a little bit.
Yeah, boy. Oh. All right. So let me ask you a question before I get to my next story.
Yeah.
I just thought about this because of Elizabeth Hurley. Yeah. And, she's adept at the upper part of her body.
Yeah.
Let's say. I don't know what's a good way of saying it.
She has ample bosoms.
She has ample bosoms. Yeah. But she's a woman, so she wants to show off her ample bosoms.
Right. You and I have ample bosoms. Do you
find that you look for shirts now that don't show off your tits?
I am buying the most baggiest clothes possible. I'm like a double X. I'm not yet a double extra large.
Right.
But yeah.
I'm thinking I'm like an inch away from cleavage.
I have which could be the name of Hildegard's movie that you just
maybe my sons want to direct me in a film.
I have 1,200 hoodies. I have 1,200 extra large hoodies.
All right. My story is, well, I guess
you just referred to yourself as having
tits. I believe I said tits. Yeah. It kind of feels that way. It doesn't feel that way to you?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's time for another feature.
When you're on the job and you're not doing it right. Jenkins! Time now for Dave to share stories of employee screw-ups. Jenkins! It could only be Jenkins! Jenkins with Rick and Dave. Jenkins!
Okay. I know it says Dave in the jingle, but a Batik Air Indonesia pilot and his second-in-command are accused of allowing the flight they were operating to veer off course as they both took a snooze in the cockpit mid-flight, Indonesian officials said. Now, both pilots, whose names are not included, had just completed a trip in the opposite direction. So, they were
what
tired.
They do.
Yeah. Once a return flight to Jakarta took off and the plane reached cruising altitude of 36,000 feet, the 32-year-old pilot asked for permission to take a rest. The report
32?
I know.
Come on.
He's a child. I've got shirts
right.
that are 32.
I've got hoodies that hide my breasts that are 32.
After the pilot snapped, the pilot asked the 28-year-old second-in-command if he wanted to take
28?
a rest.
What are you guys needing sleep for?
After
prime of your lives.
Right, exactly. We were up 24 hours a day back in those
Studying
days.
And Bible study and...
So anyway, after a quick chat, the pilot went back to sleep, leaving the second-in-command in control of the aircraft. But then the co-pilot accidentally fell asleep. And the pilot woke up to find that the aircraft was not on the correct flight path anymore, that his co-pilot was asleep. Yeah. So that's the Jenkins part of the show. What I wanted to tell you is why he fell asleep.
Okay.
Are you ready for this? The co-pilot had a busy few days off before the flight, according to a report. Not only is he the father of 1-month-old twins, but he also moved homes in the days before the flights. He admitted to investigators that his sleep quality had degraded by several wake-ups from the babies on the night before the flight, and he just hadn't been able to sleep. Yeah. And
I've walked in his shoes. So do you know? It's funny you meant. God, I haven't thought of this. So when the twins were like 1 month old or 2 months, I would find any excuse to leave the house.
I remember.
I mean, I would, whatever, I would
You used to call me up.
Yeah, I would like go to the grocery store, get one item, come back with that one item, then go back for another item, right? And then,
you'd be volunteering to go to the DMV.
Right, for people. Yeah. I was freelancing at the DMV. And so do you know where the pharmacy is? They have all those brochures.
Yeah.
Like about, brochures about diseases, basically psoriasis and yeast infection or whatever. So I would go in that little corner and I would just grab, I haven't, diabetes. Let's read about this. And I was so tired that I crashed. I was reading one of them and I fell asleep. And I still to this day don't know how long I was sleeping so think of the picture, me by the pharmacy, just nodding off, head down with like a, psoriasis brochure in my lap.
The reason I brought this story to you is because I knew there would be a
sleep deprivation
story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was when the twins were born. Also, was when online poker was huge. Well, it still is huge, but it was
like semi-legal.
Yeah. And I would be playing online poker with like the twins resting on my chest, both of them, while I'm playing. Father of the year, right there.
What do you think, girls?
Should I check raise the threes out of position? Hey, we got a review.
All right.
Rick and Dave bring a lot of entertainment to their listeners with every new episode. Not only is this show funny with good news stories and silly banter. We got a little silly banter. There's also some really good interviews as well. And that is from Amazon PDS Kirk.
Thank you very much, PDS Kirk. If you will be kind enough to rate the show, we'd really appreciate it. You can go wherever you get your podcast, give us 5 stars, and be on your way. Say something nice. We'll read it on the show.
Yeah, right. We'll make you famous.
If you say something not nice, but it's clever, we
put
may
it on the
also
show.
read that on the show. But right now it's time for another feature.
Time now for Studio Walls.
And the words of the prophets were written on the studio walls.
So this is the part of the show where we reach back into our archives and we pull something out that...
and you could reach back now with both arms.
I can.
Right.
I still don't have full control.
The reaching back.
Yeah. But in fact, this time I did grab this with my left hand. Okay. This goes back to 1966.
Okay, we were 3.
Yeah. The Rascals, starring Felix Cavaliere, were on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1966. We talked to Felix Cavaliere back about 2-3 years ago, and we asked him about what it was like to be on the Ed Sullivan Show, and he had a whole story about it, which we'll play for you right now.
Yeah, that was a big thing. It was an interesting experience, which took 7 days.
Really?
Almost. Oh, yeah. Basically, people don't know, but you started on Monday a.m., bright and early. I think it was around 7 a.m., if I'm not mistaken. And you showed up at, what is now was the Letterman Theater. Now it's,
Colbert.
Being used.
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert.
Right.
And you did you got there at 7 a.m. It was very organized and very strict. And you did your run-throughs. And on Saturday night, you did a complete show in front of an audience, not televised.
Oh, wow.
And it was serious, And what people don't know is that this was prior to. Ed Sullivan was a like a newspaper columnist,
right?
Who in those early days, prior to our days, that's how you got your publicity. You didn't have a Facebook. You had a columnist. So they offered him this Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But what they did is they gave him like a figure, let's say maybe $150,000, $200,000 to put a show together. So when we did that show, it was prior to us getting union fees.
Okay.
In other words, we got our regular concert fee.
Wow.
So, yeah. So like when he had all those acts on, he paid them their, regular price, And it was wild because obviously we're sharing backstage with comedians,
Yeah.
Hackett, and that little puppet there,
Topo Gigio. Plate spinners and acrobats.
I got some great stories backstage behind that. I mean, it was like, we young kids, man. Like, it was a gas. But he was very, very disciplined back then. He was tough.
Yeah.
And his son-in-law, I believe his name was Bob Precht. And if that rhymes with something, it's for a reason.
That's funny.
But, the memories I have of it was we only were on stage for like maybe 2 minutes?
Yeah, were you playing live in those days on those shows?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we were live, which was kind of difficult because there was nowhere near the sound quality that came later, and oh my God, sometimes it just sounded so bad. And, if you look at the TV in those days, the speaker was like, 1/20th.
But that's a good point.
So,
yeah, how bad could it have sounded on that little speaker, right?
Yeah, well, it did.
Yeah.
Sometimes I didn't even want to go home because my friends said, "Hey, we saw you, man," but
over it.
Oh, hey, I noticed I wasn't on that interview.
Is that one of the ones I did without you?
Yeah, the one. Is this another one that
I didn't even notice?
I noticed. Yeah. I noticed immediately that I wasn't on it.
It's a good story, though.
Oh, yeah, he seems like a very nice guy. I read an article recently about him. Did he just put out an album or something?
Yeah, it could be. That's episode number 97 of Minutia Men's Celebrity Interview. A Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Felix Cavalieri from the Rascals, and the Young Rascals, they were also known for as for a while there. Check it out.
What is the name of the Three Stooges? Were they called the Little Rascals?
The Little Rascals, okay. Yeah. Before we get to your next story, because I know you have one, do you mind if I read you an email we received?
No, please don't.
This comes from Andy. I'll assume that by this point you guys know there was a problem with Dave's microphone on the most recent podcast. Yes, we heard from several people about that. Sounded like he was recording from inside of a well. Tell him to say hi to baby Jessica.
And for you kids out there that don't know who baby Jessica was, she was, stuck in a well.
Stuck in a well.
That was...
the reason I'm writing, though, is because if you do actually get Terry Kaiser for an interview, I'm begging you to ask him all about his brief but reoccurring role on Hill Street Blues as Vic Hitler, the narcoleptic comedian. There are no typos there. You read that correctly.
Vic Hitler.
So, yeah. And if you didn't listen to last week's show, the microphone sucked.
Yeah.
And we talked about Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes, right.
And that's Terry Kaiser, who was the star of that show.
Who made $350,000 for just playing a dead guy.
Yeah.
Which, again. Hey, guess what's coming up in 2 weeks, 12 days, 11 days? I don't know.
What's that?
Baseball, right? Baseball season starts.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game.
So this story is baseball related. Dodgers minor league team's new name is a naughty Spanish slang word.
Uh-oh.
The Los Angeles Dodgers will always be the Dodgers, but their minor league team is set to change their mascot for the upcoming minor league baseball season's Copa de la Diversion. It's also known as the Fun Cup. So they have this minor league festival or whatever. It's called the Fun Cup. And a part of the Fun Cup, which according to the MILB website, which is the minor league, consists of events that embrace the culture and values that resonate most with Hispanics and communities with minor league teams.
It's so funny when American companies try to reach out because they always screw it up.
Well, so you know that in KFC, the slogan "finger licking good."
Yeah.
In China, that translates to "so good you'll eat your fingers off."
Yeah.
Right. And there's thousands of examples.
Exactly.
In my globalization class, we've gone over this. So the Dodgers single A affiliate announced on their social media that they would be rebranding as the Chiquetas.
Oh,
I think that's how you
sounds nice.
Right. Yeah, for the Fun Club. Chiquetas or Chicoetas is Spanish for jackets and pays tribute to Southern California's mariachi band culture. Do you like mariachi music?
Very nice.
I love, this may be a fun fact, a minutia. Yeah. I love mariachi music. Dude, I love the maraca. I love it.
If I'm ever in a Mexican restaurant and they come up and play that music while I'm standing there.
Not a big fan.
I'm trying to figure out ways to stick the chips into their guitar holes. I'm not a fan of that.
How old are you?
I am around 26, 27.
You're the grumpy old.
Yeah, I am.
You're the grumpy old Caucasian guy which could be the screenplay you write for Hildegard. Grumpy.
Good.
So, however, while
oh God, it's back again. God,
while chaquetas does literally translate to jackets, there's the word has another connotation which is less appropriate to. It's like urban slang, Spanish urban slang. Oh. It's the term for masturbation.
Oh.
Okay. And despite the name being looked over...
You know how you say that in German?
What, masturbation?
Yeah.
What?
Die Selbstbefriedigung.
Really?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, didn't think Germans masturbated.
Well, actually, there's two possible words that you can say.
Okay.
What's
the gender of the word?
Die. It's a female.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Elizabeth
Hurley, 58.
Sorry, go ahead. The other word, by the way, for masturbation in German is masturbation.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That was very anglicized.
I have not been on Pornhub.
Today.
I was going to, totally for research for the show. I bet there is a parody, German parody porn.
I'm sure there is.
Right. So basically they reached out to all these people. No one brought it to their attention.
Right.
That this is masturbation. And the cups, the fun cup starts Tuesday. So the team is faced with a pretty sticky situation here, right? By the way, I looked up what White Sox mean in other languages.
Oh yeah.
Okay. In Koro. And Koro is a language that is spoken in northwest India. It means you'll be lucky to win 60 fucking games.
Yeah.
Okay. In Sentinelese, tickets for less than $6 on StubHub is what White Sox means.
Okay.
And in Paraha, which is spoken in the rainforest of Brazil, it means start rooting for the Cubs.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's gotten to that point, has it?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. And we wish Dylan Cease the best.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really know.
Was it
who that
Dodgers?
is.
Where did he go?
I don't even know who that is.
He was our number
Whatever. Nobody cares about the White Sox. There's something I wanted to tell you about the baseball thing. Oh, I know what it was. The whole idea of having sexual terms associated with baseball makes total sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything is sexualized. Getting to first base, getting to second base.
You got two balls on you.
Oh, God, he's sliding into third. That whole meatloaf thing at the end of that.
Right.
Here he comes. He's coming. Oh, by God, I think he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
There's also switch hitter.
Yeah.
You get the high hard one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like those are all free for people to use. Also, if
what
they
was the name of your pitcher that wasn't nearly as good as we all thought he was going to be?
Dick Pole.
Kerry Wood.
Kerry Wood, yeah, exactly. All right, I got a story for you. I got some grief about my cicada secretion story from last week. But I decided to go with another bug story.
Okay.
Just because that's who I am. Ants have long been a source of food across the globe. Maybe not here, but each species.
Well, with inflation, Rick,
well,
who knows when we're going to start
it's
eating
more
it.
sustainable, Dave. Each species has its own unique flavor, and they believe that ants can be used as spices. Right? Researchers have analyzed these edible ants to get an idea of where their delectable tastes and smells come from, highlighting the untapped potential for their use in culinary settings in countries that have historically been reticent to put insects on the menu, which is most countries. Need an acidic vinegary twist? Black ants have you covered. They're packed full of formic acid, which adds to the compound they secrete from their venom glands. And this can enable chefs to swap out vinegar and lemon juice. It can be a more sustainable source of a flavor profile. Use the black ants instead of the lemons.
Instead of paprika, forget it.
Want to get meaty, fatty aromas like burgers and sausages on the grill? Chicotana ants can do that thanks to aldehydes and pyrazine in their little segmented bodies, which match those produced when meats and breads are cooked. This could plus up meat alternatives by replicating the flavors of real meat, which, as we know, is an expensive industry. And, actually causes all sorts of problems in the environment.
Methane, the cows,
yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So that's something to consider. And if you want a really spicy ant, this is what they recommend. I think it's called the Adam ant.
Adam ant is up and Adam.
There you go.
Did you say a hot, spicy ant?
Hot, spicy ant.
Well, how would you say that in...
Like Elizabeth Hurley.
I was going to say, Tanta, right?
Oh my, no! Stop it! You have to stop! This is going to hurt me forever.
Hildegard Kupfer.
No. Stop. Okay. That is wrong.
Okay.
All right. It's time for another feature on the show. What do we call this one again?
That would be Celebrity Potpourri.
That would be Celebrity Potpourri.
A random name pulled out of Rurik's bowl of brushes with celebrities. Mixture, collection, selection, assemblage, medley, assortment, variety. Time now for Celebrity Potpourri with Rick and Dave.
Okay, this is a part of the show where we start reading you emails from our listeners that have their brushes with celebrity stories. And this one is from Lance. Lance says, I looked up the address to Eckhart's Press because I wanted to send you guys something. Doesn't say what he wanted to send us. Did you get any?
No. Is it my address or your address?
It's yours.
I think we have both.
Well,
I've had people come to our door.
Let me finish the story here. Do you realize that your office is near the one-time home of someone famous?
Is it a famous cub or?
Nope. This might be something for your brushes with celebrity thing. 3966 North Avondale.
Okay.
Is the former home of Martha Thornton. In 1966, from April to June, her brother stayed with her there. He later moved to the Shipyard Inn on 101st Street.
What year? I'm sorry, what year?
1966.
Okay.
That was his home base when he killed 8 nursing students in their dormitory. Martha's brother, Richard Speck, was basically your neighbor.
Oh, that is great. That is,
3966 North Avondale.
Oh, wow. That's
right
very
around
cool.
your place, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of ex-Cubs lived in the neighborhood, too.
Oh, really?
Because it was just down Irving Park to go to the...
our author, Bobby Skafish, his next-door neighbor during the 2003 season was Eric Karros.
Oh.
Just they could walk to the ballpark from there.
He had a great head of hair, didn't Eric?
Oh, he did. Yeah. All right. So we have people to thank for the show, Dave. We need to thank our executive producer, Tony Lozano, who is with Opie Productions.
And we got a new mixing board from him.
Yes, and we have not set it up yet.
No.
Because Dave just brought it right before the show.
All right.
And Dave has given me a window of about 47 minutes of his time today. And that does not include Rick needs to set up the stuff time.
Very important.
Who else do we have to thank?
Well, Ed Sullivan, my God. He distributes our podcast.
Yeah, and he's with the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great Talk Radio's not dead, Dave.
It just went to a better place. I want to thank you.
Do you?
Yeah, for the pregame spread you always have out here.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
I love the
water, the glass of water.
The glass of water, right? In the unwashed glass. No. Yeah, but so thank you. And I love how you cleaned up your desk for me here. I didn't have to move any papers or anything to put my computer.
I want to thank you.
Okay.
I want to thank you for putting horrible thoughts into my head today that I'm going to have to...
You're never going to get rid of.
That I will need to go to some kind of therapy to get out of my head.
What are you doing for dinner tonight?
We're going to my mom's.
Have fun with that.
And we'll be back again next week with another episode of
Minutia Man.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at RadioMisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?